Hey, Brian. Hey, Paul. Yeah, I could not get OBS to work. I had to reboot everything because it wasn't syncing with the camera for some reason. The only way to get that to work is to just restart everything. So I sit down to go, and it's like, oh, there's no picture, which you might have preferred. I don't know. Just go audio only. Although I don't even know if the audio was working. Speaking of, I can turn up the audio, I think, a little bit. I mean, even pounding the guitar, I'm not going into the red, so give you a little bit more level. David Sillers, Bruce, how's it going? Sorry. So yeah, we're on lesson 3 for for learning to read. We're just starting very basic, kind of like you would if you were going through like guitar method book like Mel Bay's or Alfred's Basic, which is what I started on. The only thing is there's no songs in here, recognizable songs per se. And this one, what we're doing today is we're going to be doing both the E and the B strings. So we're going to be, yeah, it's fine, Paul. You just like, I appreciate the views. I know you don't have a guitar in your hand. And let me grab the Discord link and I'm just waiting for a few people to show up. Let's see, copy. Okay. So here's the Discord link, the join link. So if you're not a member of the Discord group, it's no big deal. If you've never done Discord before, it's actually really easy. No major requirements. It doesn't cost anything. But basically, it's just where you can continue discussing stuff that we talk about. Also, at the Discord link, you'll have all of the PDFs from all of my lessons for the whole. Well, we're at lesson 206. So if there's a JPEG or a PNG or a PDF from any of the lessons, that's where I put them. So you'll see that. Let's see. I can open this up. Let's see, Discord. I didn't even go to Discord this morning because I figured, oh shoot, you're going to be saying, "Where's Tom?" So, but it's in the Discord folder. You know, Tom's PDFs, Tom's lessons and PDFs. Yeah, right here. So you can see the 3 sheets that we've done so far. We got the new one today, and I created this yesterday morning and uploaded it as soon as I created it. So I'll try to do that in the future. Sometimes I just don't get around to it. Sometimes I forget. But this way you can kind of start to get your eyes and hands on it before our lesson so that it's not going by so fast for you. And let me get my metronome up because we're going to go ahead and use the metronome again when we finally get around to playing through this. You know what? I didn't put double bars at the end of every measure or at the end of every state. I probably should have done that, but it's all right. It doesn't matter. That's just a little technical thing. So like I said, we've gotten 3 notes on the E string and 3 notes on the B string, a total of 6 notes so far. And if this is if this is like baby work for you, then what I would do is I would read the B, C, D, E, F, G here or here so that you can practice reading up the neck. And again, I'm just going to reiterate this at the beginning of all the videos. Why learn to read music? Well, yeah, because guitar players typically don't learn to read music. They often learn tab, especially younger guitar players. Some of us older players started with music because that was all they had. Tab actually predates for the lute, predates music for the lute. But so there was tab back in the 1600s, that 16th century. So tab is nothing new. The great thing about tab is it tells you where to play something. Like this E note, it could be played here, it could be played here, it could be played here, it could be played here and here. And when you're figuring out someone does a guitar solo or plays something on guitar, and you're trying to figure out where it is, you really have to learn to start to recognize timbre, and that's the tone of the string or the note, and how they're all different. Believe it or not, those notes all sound different. And if I had a 24 fret neck, I could get actually 6 different places to play an E note. On the piano, there's only one place to play it. So yeah, there are definitely advantages to tab. And it makes sense that a lot of guitar players learn to read tab. Also because so much of guitar music now is just tab. But if you're going to study classical guitar, most classical guitar music is not in tab. Jazz, same thing. You know, if you're going to try to do session work, if you're going to sit in with a jazz band, if you're a kid and you want to play with a high school jazz band or something like that. Hey, John, good to see you. And so, you know, the other thing is all other musicians, the guitar players are the only musicians that really don't learn how to read music. Bass players even generally learn how to read music. And so part of the reason why I think guitar players don't tend to read music, and we're going to get into it next week, is because chords are really hard to read, at least in our head. They're not as bad as you think. Especially once you know the key of a song, you're pretty much going to narrow the chord possibilities down to 6 chords. So if you can just memorize 6 shapes for that key, then you're probably going to start to see chords throughout the staff. But we're going to do a little bit of chord. We're going to create dyads. So next week we're going to do more on this, the B string and the E string. Or I could wait until we get the G string in there, but no, because probably what I'll do is I'll teach you the G string and then we'll do 3 strings all in one. That'll be a one lesson. And so we might even get into accidentals. I don't know. That might happen in the next lesson. It's just I want to sneak little things in at a time, but this week I'm not doing any new elements. So the first week we had whole notes, half notes, quarter notes. Next week we had rests, we had ties. This week I'm not adding that. There's no rest anywhere in here. I put ties in here just so you don't forget what they are and how to use them. Rests are pretty easy to remember. But we have whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. And that's pretty much it. We're going to bring in eighth notes at some point, but there's no real hurry for that. I might wait till we get all the way down to the bottom string before we start bringing in eighth notes. So let's see. This is basically this lesson starts out with a little bit of a review. I wrote the letter names and the frets on the first 6 bars. I do not want you to write those. I mean, okay, you can do this. If you want to print up 2 copies of this, one so you can give yourself a little test and write all the note names in so you can start to memorize them. And then when you're reading, though, use the unscathed one, if you know what I mean, okay? So how are we doing on count here? What do we got? Oh, 21, not bad. 23, okay, not bad. Hit that like button if you think of it. It's just for my self-esteem. Oh wait, what's this? I got a pull down thing. Chat rate, playbacks. Oh, interesting, okay. Playbacks. I don't even know what playbacks is. All right. Okay, so let's get started. Let's just play the, let's remind ourselves the 3 notes on the E string, because we did the B string last week. So we have open is E, first fret is F, and 3rd fret is G. And I'm playing with my 1st and 3rd fingers. So basically the fret number and the finger number line up, okay? And then on the B string we have open B, 1st fret is C, and 3rd fret is D. Okay. Now, the notation for these, E is the very top space. All right. The very top line is F, and above the top line is G, just above it. Okay, like sitting on the staff is G. Okay, and B is actually written on the very middle note of the staff. The middle line of the staff. 3 lines up, 3 lines down. Doesn't matter how you count it. It's right there. And that's B. And then on the second from the top line space or the third from the bottom space. And if you learn FACE, the face, the 3 spaces from the bottom, or the 4 spaces from the bottom are FACE, and that would be the C one. Okay, the second line from the top is D. All right, so we have B, C, D. All right. So let's just play these first six bars, okay, all the way to the D. You got that? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, down to B, 4. Open B, 2, 3, 4. First fret, C, 2, 3, and then the third fret is D, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right. The next 4 bars, which would be bar 7 through 10, I'm just going to kind of play the strings again, but we're going to use half notes, okay? Here we go. So, and now we don't have the fingers or the letters written, so you're going to have to know them. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, F, G, F, to B, C, D, and then C. All right. So let's try that again. Let's do that one again. And I'm not going to say what notes you're playing, okay, this time. 3, 4. Try to look ahead a little bit. At the very least, look ahead to the next note once your finger is on the note you're playing, okay? So like, for example, when I'm playing that open B, I'm already looking at the C. When I play that C, my eyes have already moved ahead to the D note, and now I'm going back to the C. So you want to try to keep your eyes a little ahead. You can use micro short-term memory, okay? So for example, the very next bar is just C, D, E, F. Okay, anyway, I'm trying to do some random. It's going to get kind of random here. I'm trying to mess you up, basically. I want you to read and not memorize. Those first 10 bars are pretty easy to memorize, and that's okay. If you memorized it, you know, that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. But eventually, what you'll start to do is you'll start to do these little micro memory things. So, like, I can look at that at bar 11. I can look at that and memorize that it's 4 quarter notes. And then I'm already looking at the G once I start playing the C. Well, I should have been half notes there, but anyway. So my eye is about a bar ahead. So that nothing surprises me and there's no hesitation in my playing. If you're just looking at the note that you're playing, and this is something you can practice if this is also very easy for you. If this is baby work, one of the things you can do is to try to look a bar ahead or 2 bars ahead and memorize that and practice that. Because that's the kind of thing you need to practice when it is kind of easy. Now the thing is, if you're looking right at the note that you're playing, then if there's something weird, and we're going to have it like I go from C to F, you might hesitate in your playing. You might go, you know, it might be something like, you're supposed to be right on a downbeat and you're late because you're like, oh shoot, that's right there. Same thing's true if you go from F to C. Those are difficult. I think I have that F to C once in here, but I didn't do G to D. I went D, G. So we're going to see that. So anyway, Team Strahle. Steve Barry, what's going on? Sam Stamos. Ollie, everybody must be playing because they're not chatting too much. What are we looking at? 22, 23, not bad. Not great, but not bad. All right. Okay, so let's just play bar 10, 11. I'm sorry, bar 11, 12, 13, and the first beat of 14. I'm sorry I didn't really break this up in bite-sized chunks as I have before. I wasn't thinking about that as much as I was just trying to get a lot of random notes up there so it would force you to read. Okay, so we're gonna play very, very slowly, and we're just gonna read these notes. And here's the thing: you're probably going to. So we're going from the beginning of bar 11 to the first note of the C note on bar 14. Okay, so we're gonna start on C. We're gonna end on C. All right? No, downstrokes only at this point. Yeah. Once we bring in eighth notes, then we'll start using some upstrokes. Okay, John? Yeah. Whenever I'm playing quarter notes, whole notes, and half notes, I pretty much always hit downstrokes, unless it's going by really fast. I mean, obviously, if the tempo's 240 or 300 beats per minute, then quarter notes are going to be cooking. Just so you know. And I've played songs at 200, and usually the melody is eighth note, so it's really cooking. It's like. Donna Lee is about 300, I think. And it has triplet eighth notes. It's like, holy cow. Oh, man. Oh, so Holly's doing a shout out to everybody. She's going to want anybody to feel left out. Okay, so again, we're going to take it slow, but we're going to start on the C note on bar 11 and then end on the C note at the beginning of bar 14. Okay, ready? Here we go. And I'll call out the names at this moment, but the next time we're through, we're not going to do that. Okay, 3, 4, C. I'm going to slow it down even more. Okay, here we go. 1. Well, we're just going to count them as whole notes, half notes. 3, 4. So we go. 2, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, E, G, E, C. All right, that is a very common vocal warm-up. So if you want to practice your vocals, it's a very common, usually we do it with motorboats. Like that. Hard not to laugh when my wife is doing that, warming up her voice. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. Okay, this time we're going to do it again, but I'm not going to say the names, okay? Here we go. 3, again, I'm going to double the value of every note for now. 3, 4. Look ahead. Okay, now what if I were playing that in a session? How would I play it? Would I play it there? It depends. If it were like a bluegrass thing, maybe. But if I want, but there's when you're making music is different than playing music. Playing music is this. Okay, making music would be whatever. I'm gonna do variations on it. We've talked about that before, right? You can play a line and just play it note for note and don't do any variations on it. It's just kind of like, okay, you got the notes right, but can you put your voice on it? Okay, it's almost like you could say the letter name C, D, E, F, G, A, and make it sound like a robot voice, or you could give it some personality. Same thing with when you're reading, reading to your kids. You could read like a robot to your kids. They actually might think that was hilarious, or your grandkids or whatever. But generally, we don't do that. We put inflection, and that's what we'd ultimately do with playing. But right now, we're trying to learn to read music, so we're not going to concern ourselves too much with inflection. However, if this is baby work, then you can start working on your embellishments and slides and bends and whatever. Okay. All right. Let's do that again. Let's try to do it. Let's see what's 75 sound. 2. Okay, again, so bar 11 to the first beat of bar 14. 3, 4. Okay, now from there, okay, let's play it again. I'm going to take it halftime. I'm going to double the value of every note. So I'm going to go from bar 13 to the end of bars. So we're going to do that whole phrase. We're going to end on a D note. Okay, so we don't really worry about musicality or melody. It's not going to resolve. It's going to sound unresolved when we get to the last note. All right. So if it's killing you, you can go to the C note. Okay. So here we go. Again, I was just trying to create random exercise for you to work on. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. C, E, G, E, C, B, C, D, E, D, E, F, G, E, F, D. And if you want to, you can go to a C chord because it wants to resolve. But I don't even resolve it in bar 17. That's why we didn't go to bar 17. And bar 17 goes. So that's even more unresolved. I'm basically creating a G7 chord there, you know. Whoops. The neck is a little wider than my Martin. I'm like, hey, what? Oh, Dennis will be here. Okay. Well, Dennis, we're just going to have to put him in the corner. All right. So let's do that again. 13 to the end of 17, or 16, sorry. Here we go. I'll do the same thing. I'm not going to say the letter names though this time. All right. Hopefully this isn't too hard for you. It's only 6 notes total that you have to memorize. All right. And yeah, so that's it. Again, if this is too easy, you can practice reading up there, and you can practice reading up here, and that way you're starting to learn learn reading up the fretboard. That'll come in real handy when you're trying to play a greater range of melody notes and stuff like that. So, all right, bar 13. 1. I'm going to double the value of every note. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on a C. Yeah. Leave the musical thought hanging. Exactly. All right, so let's do it again. We'll do the same tempo. I'm going to go slow again. I'll maybe pick it up a little bit, but we're not going to use the metronome, and we're not going to play technically quarter notes. I'm thinking half notes right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe look ahead. All right, so here are quarter notes. Not much faster than that. 3, 1, bar 13. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fast. We're going to loop it. If you messed up, just wait for me to come back to the top. 2, top, 4. Again. Last time, here we go. All right, the next phrase is just four bars of half notes. And this is, I'm just doing thirds. I'm kind of climbing up in thirds. I'm trying to do some musical common ideas, common musical things. And so going, and we're, reminding you, okay, we also have half notes. We've got to work on half notes. So B, D, C, E, D, F, E, and G. It's just, we're climbing up the what was it? We're just going up by thirds. And that's a very musical thing to do. It's kind of... It's a very usable tool on the guitar. But we're going to be using it in open position, so we're going to play in open strings and things like that. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to call out the letter names before we play them. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, B. D, C, E, D, F, E, G. Again, B, D, C, E, D, F, E, G. Okay, now without calling out the names, look ahead, look at the next note, next note. Okay, let's try with the metronome. I think it's not going to be much faster. It might be slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually slower than we were going. I get bored easily. Again, we're at bar 17, 18. Here we go. Bar 19. Back one more time. Up suit. Who's the teacher? D. And finish. All right. All right. So the next line is going to be more some descending thirds. And then we're going to have ascending fourths, ascending, descending fourths. Really didn't, all I'm trying to do is kind of give you some, all the, many possible directions, movements from certain notes and things like that. So nothing, the goal is for very little to catch you by surprise when you're actually reading music. I've said this before, but I had a friend that he had a million of these jazz exercises that would do almost every variation you could do with your fingers, so that when he was hearing melodies in his head that he wanted to play in the middle of a solo, that his fingers never hindered him at all. His fingers were capable of playing anything he heard in his head. Alan Holdsworth was like that. It's like, oh my gosh. I don't know if you saw that. What was it? It's hard to do. The fifths, plain fifths. But Alan Holdsworth's hand was like literally like that much bigger than mine. I remember when I met him a few times, and every time I shook his hand, it was like my hand disappeared. If you don't know who Alan Holdsworth is, it's an acquired taste. But he influenced a lot of guitar players. Namely, he influenced Eddie Van Halen quite a bit, I think. Eddie would tell you that. In fact, Eddie wanted to produce his record I don't think that went very well, but Ted Templeman produced a record for him, which is the same producer as Van Halen. So Eddie made that happen, but maybe they're jamming together now. Alan was Brit, but he lived in San Diego, and he actually, when I would meet him, like he didn't want to talk guitar, he wanted to talk about it. He was brewing his own beer, so that he was really into brewing beer. That was what he talked about. He didn't care. He didn't want to talk about guitar or theory or anything like that. Namaste. All right, so bar 21, we're just going to go 21 to the end of the line there, okay? Again, it's all just a bunch of random notes largely. And it's going to be descending thirds, and then it's going to be ascending and descending fourths. So check this out. I'll play it once so you can kind of hear it. It makes a little musical sense, but it's not really intended to. It's really intended to kind of work your fingers. And it's actually going to be hard. These fourths are like that. Okay, so you're going to kind of be playing little chords without playing them at the same time. Here we go. 21. Okay, do you see that? So when I played B, the bar 23, I have the B and then the E. Okay, that's easy because they're both open strings. But then F, C and F are on the same fret. So I'm just going to lay my first finger down. I'm not going to go like that. Now, they're ringing out. That's okay. You could do that if you didn't want them to ring out. And then, actually, we could continue all the way to the end of bar 26. That might make some sense. So let me play it again. I'm going to go 21 to 26. Okay, that way melodically it has more of a music. It has more of a, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, Aslan's in the house. All right, 3, 4. Okay. All right, so let's play. I'm just going to call it the notes. We're not going to play really in time. I'm just going to call it the notes, and you just play it with me, okay? So G, E, F, D, E, C, D, open B, B again, open E, C, F. Just lay that finger down. D and G, lay the finger down. C and F again. Then open E, D, C, B, D, C. Begin their hellos in. I'll just underscore. So let's play 21 to 25, and we're gonna value them as half notes. So we're gonna let 2 clicks go by for every one of these notes. And in bar 26, we can do the same. We don't need to double the value of those because they're already half notes. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 23. Now, these are the fourths. Third finger. First finger. Open E. 2, 4. Okay, I didn't double the value of bar 26, just the 21 through 25. Let's do that again. Again, so this is basically what we're doing is called halftime. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should double the value of those notes so it makes more sense if I do. Do one more time, okay? 2, 3, 4. F, D. Bar 24. D note for 4 beats. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now so what we did was halftime. So we basically doubled the value of every note. Slow it down. That's a very common tool in music. So say we're doing like it's like that's the tempo. That's halftime. In comparison to the other tempo. Dennis is in the house, finally. Okay, I can start the lesson now. Been waiting for you. All right, so bar 27. No, okay, let's try playing this at tempo at 75 BPM. Now we're going to play quarter notes. So it's going to seem really fast because we've been doing halftime. Okay, this is bar 21, starting on the G note. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Downstrokes are fine. Again, 21. Two. 21. Okay. Now, also another thing you can do is if any of these bars are giving you a hard time, these measures are giving you a hard time, you can just loop it, just the one bar, okay? So like that first one, you could just go a bunch of times. and then that one's hard for me. But basically the idea is you can take any one of those bars and turn it into a little miniature exercise. Hello. All right, so speaking of that, let's take bar 27 and 28. Let's just do those two bars. Okay. It's interesting because one of the more difficult things to do on guitar is to play fourths. And when you're doing a backwards fourth, when you're going down a fourth, you have to think ahead. So like this is a perfect example of keeping your eye at least one beat ahead. If you look at bar 28, we have a G and then we have a D. And if you play G with the tip of your third finger, then you might have to drop in your second finger, like I just did, or if you use the fat of your third finger, then you can roll it and get both notes. And that's a good exercise. It's a good exercise, just bar 27 and 28. If you were to loop that, if you have the paper out, you could even put little repeat signs there or something, or a bracket over it and say, hey, practice this. Because it's actually physically difficult to play. It's not complex to read, but again, we're looking ahead. See, when you play that F at the end of the bar, of 28, then if we're going to loop that, we got to go to the C note. So again, the same thing's going to happen. I got to either move really fast, which is fine, or I've got to do a roll, or I have to bring in another finger, which if you're using the first finger, it's kind of awkward to put your second finger on that C note. That's not going to happen. So I might. See, I'm playing the G note in particular with kind of the meaty part of my third finger here, not the tip. So that way I have the tip. I'm reserving the tip of the finger for that second string note, the D note. And again, I'm just going through this. This is really more like homework for you guys, but I'm trying to be progressive in these lessons. Each one of them is going to have more involvement. So it's interesting as we progress on this, I might end up having less and less viewers because there are going to be people that didn't come in. And we got 29, we're not bad. 28, something like that. It's not bad. But it might get pretty complex, and and if you want, you can go back 2 lessons at this point because we're only on the 3rd lesson. This is 206, so 204 is the first one. So if you just started watching this and you want to learn to read music on the guitar, then go back to lesson 204, and that's where I started, and we just did the E string, okay? And I'm also teaching you elements of music. Here's another thing. I didn't mention this before, but one of the byproducts of learning about quarter notes and rests and everything like that is you may not ever have to read music for guitar, but you might have to read charts. If any of you play at churches, a lot of charts will have rhythmic notation. And rhythmic notation is basically just variations on music notation. So for example, that very first note on this page here, the open E, that half note, if it were an E chord, bringing out for 4 beats, instead of being a little circle like that, it would be more of a diamond shape. And that would signify that you play a chord and let it ring for 4 beats. If it's a diamond shape with a line coming off of it, then that would be half notes. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? And so on and so forth. So a lot of the rhythmic things that we're learning here can, if you don't ever really need to read single notes or individual notes, that will translate into reading charts that people might throw in front of you for something, okay? Cut time. I think it's the same thing. Double time is, let me Google that. Yeah, it's not the best. Cut time is when they say 2-2-1. I think it's basically the same thing. It's nomenclature. I think if someone were to say cut time, I think everybody would go to halftime. So yeah, basically, instead of counting it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, you would count it. So it's a way of the speed of the measures are going by the same pace. But the feel changes. That's what happens. See, when I was playing this, I'm still playing 4 beats of each chord, but when I go to halftime or cut time, it feels slower, but it's the exact same tempo. I'm not, if I were to double the value, double time would be going from, double time's like, let's see. So it's like, that would be like a lot of times gospel songs will go into double time, right? They'll be like, like whatever, and then all of a sudden you're going, you're just trying to keep up at that point. but the chords aren't going by any faster. The measures aren't going by any faster. It's just the feel gets twice as fast. So, oh, Jan's in the house. Hey, Jan. I'm sure I've forgotten to say hi to somebody. All right, so we're bar 27. I know this is kind of boring, but all right. So here we go. Let's play these as half notes for now. We're gonna go halftime or cut time or whatever, but we're actually gonna double the value of everything. So I don't know what that is. 1, 2, just 27 and 28. 3, and we're gonna loop it. 3, 4, 2, 4. Look ahead, again, C. We're just doing those 2 bars. Okay, let's try it at tempo. 2, 3, which is much faster. Well, it is. Okay, again, 3, 4. C, C, E, F, G, D, D, F, C. Okay, what are you saying, Sam? Let's see. You double the tempo and play halftime. Yeah, essentially. One way to think about it. It just changes the feel. It's just rhythms are different. Can all occur over the same. It's just like eighth notes and quarter notes and half notes and whole notes and eighth notes all feel different over the same tempo. Eighth notes are twice as fast as quarter notes in the same tempo, but the tempo is still the same. Okay, let's go to bar 29 and let's try to go to the end of that line to bar 32. Okay, again, more randomizing. Pretty random. I'm trying to mess you up is basically what I'm trying to do. So the tempo 75 might be too fast for home practice. So when you get home, when you're practicing away from this live stream, you can turn it. You don't have to be at 75. Please don't just get a tempo that's, you could go 75 and think and double the value of every note if that makes it easier. The idea is just to start to learn to have those 6 notes memorized, okay? And know where they are, and know where they are on the staff, know where they are on the guitar. That's the main thing. So this is just a randomizing tool, essentially. And you're very likely, some of this you might actually end up memorizing. Like I told you, when I was trying to teach Alex to read, his memory was so good that he would memorize everything, and I would think he was reading, but he wasn't. But I was hip to that. I was hip to that because I'd had a million students that had done that. I mean, I probably taught, I don't know, 2,000 students individually over the years. Maybe that many, I don't know. Definitely much more than that if I were to include clinics, because I had clinics with 200 people in them, and I did a lot of those. So. All right, so bar 29. Double the value of every note. 2, 3, 4. E, C, C, D, E, B, D, G, G, E, E, F, C, E, B, D, D. Again, top E, 29. If you're having trouble, you can always go back and review D, D, back to the beginning, 29. I'm not going to play this at quarter notes at this point. I have no idea how many of you are able to play this at this speed. I don't want to freak you out thinking you have to keep up with me. So we're basically playing it quarter note at 37.5 beats per minute. Little G triad here. E note, open. F to C. One of those lay down the finger kind of things. And again, if you want for an exercise or for a little test on yourself, like a quiz, you can print up 2 of these and then write the letter names on it. But I don't want you writing the letter names on the one that you're reading, you're practicing on, because the idea is to get you to learn how to read the music, not the letter names. All right, because you could write G, and G could be this note, this note, this note, this note. It could be 3 different Gs, and it could even be this one. So if you just got used to reading the letter names, and I want you to know the letter names of these notes, okay? That's also important. But that's why it's not a bad idea to print it up twice and then treat one as a test. You can even print it up again a month from now and give yourself another test. And again, if I'm going too fast, so what I'm going to do on next Wednesday is I'm going to, if I'm able to do it, we're going to start playing 2 notes and reading 2 notes. So you're going to see 2 notes together, but it's going to be, I'm going to try to make it so some of it will make musical sense. Some of it will just give you lots of variations. And then I will break them apart as well. So we'll have more reading like this. I may put rests back in there, so we're learning something, but I won't put a new element in next week, I don't think, because we'll be working on reading 2 notes at once instead of 1 note. Probably also the other thing is I won't make anything faster than a half note when I'm playing 2 notes. So you won't be seeing, you won't be seeing anything like that. It'll be like 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 3, things like that. I'll probably keep it I'll try to keep it real simple. It may end up being a 2-page lesson. We'll see, just because I'm going to be using. I love having the 4 bars per line here. Yeah, rests are not as easy as it would seem, but yeah. So that's why it's good to have. It's good to learn about them, and there's reason. Rests are there for a reason. A lot of times you need a gap in the music, or sometimes it's there because they want you to stop playing so somebody else can fill that gap. That's actually one of the hardest things to read when you're playing with somebody else and they have notes where you have rests. And you're like, oh, wait, did I mess up? Are we supposed to be together? It's like that. It's just funny. So you're right. So John says he plays 3 sheets to the wind, apparently. Yeah, Bob, thanks. Yeah, 27 likes. That's awesome. The Paul Myers saying, I was on the edge of keeping up. I read the notes okay, but still associating with the fret. That's okay. That's okay. You can still, turn it up a tab. All right. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think I can go all the way up almost. I don't know why it's quieter. I was having issues, like I said. Let's see. Let me tune real quick. Okay, so we did 29. Okay, let's do 33. We're going to go ahead and do 33 to the end of the line, which is 36. And again, I'm going to double the value of every note to half notes, which isn't a bad thing. If I wrote them as half notes, I'd only have half as many. This would either be a 2-page lesson, or it would be half as many notes on the page, and so you wouldn't get as much reading. So I don't have a problem with you slowing down either the metronome or giving each quarter note two clicks value. If you're going to do that, I would give each half note 4 clicks value. That way, you're still hearing it as quarter notes and half notes, like long notes and short notes. Okay. I think it was the B string was the culprit. My main Martin is in the shop. Just starting to develop too many issues that I just couldn't ignore it anymore. It's hard because I use it on so many projects, and so many projects. What happens with when so much of what I'm working on is like cues for movies or games or whatever. And once you start a movie, I kind of like to have the same guitar all the way through it, or a game, but I just couldn't deal with that guitar anymore. So I was like, because it was fretting out a little bit, and it was rattling. Has a couple braces that were loose. So I'm trying out a new guitar tech in Los Angeles, and he seemed like a really nice guy. I think he'll be great. So, and I think he'll be a little bit faster than my normal guy. My normal guy takes way too long. So I wanted someone that could do this guitar a little faster. He didn't seem like he was buried in work. My other guy, I would go in there and he would have guitars just stacked on top of guitars on top of guitar. I mean, I don't even know how he kept track. But I'd go in there and there'd be 500 guitars waiting to be worked on. I'm like, oh gosh, And then if someone famous comes, like Kenny works for Kenny Loggins, Kenny Loggins comes in with his guitars, guess who gets priority over me? So. Yeah, this is a good Gibson. I was very lucky. Be honest, I'm not a Gibson fan. I pick up a lot of Gibsons at stores and I'd go, I don't know. They're just too. They sound too toy-like. They don't sound like a serious guitar. This one was my first acoustic that I ever got, and I bought it because it was the loudest acoustic I could find. So, I mean, it's maple back and sides, which I think really contributes to the, to the projection. Spruce top, but the thing was I was looking for a guitar that I could use for Beth and I to lead worship in our Sunday school class, which was 100 people, it was 50 couples. And so it was a big classroom, and they didn't have a PA system. So we were just going to be singing and playing to the. So I needed something that was going to be loud, and all I had at the time was acoustically was a nylon guitar. So yeah, Kenny Loggins is still doing stuff. Yeah, as far as I know. I mean, I don't think anyone's touring right now. In fact, Bieber's really well. I got the volume all the way up. There's nothing I can do on my end. Low. What's this one? Check 1 2 1 2. What is that? Are you hearing more now, or is it you're hearing two things? Yeah, Bob, I think, let me know what this sounds like. I have another mic input, but I don't know where it's getting, it may be getting sound from this. No? Yeah, I have a couple Taylors. I did clinics for Taylors. Bob Taylor gave me an 814 CE when I started teaching clinics back in '97. That was pretty cool to get a Taylor guitar for free in the mail. It just showed up. I had a deal, so I got I got my 655 12 string too for a really good deal. My gardener just showed up. Okay, so let's go at bar, where were we at? 33. Oh, some delay. I don't like the delay, so let's get rid of that. Yeah, I have two. What's this do? Advanced audio prop. Built-in microphone. Do it. No, it's that there. Yeah, I'm not running through my duet right now. So, okay. All right. So, bar 33. I'll play it down. I'll play it down using half notes. Doubling the value of everything. No, 814 CE is a steel string. That's the not the Dreadnought. It's the Concert, I think. The C stands for cutaway, and the E stands for electronics. So. Yeah, it was two inputs. I'm not even sure where the second input was coming from. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 2. Bar 35. Top again, 33. Sorry. Yeah, 33. 1, 2, doubling every value. 2. F, D, B, C, C, E, G, G, F, D, E, C, D, F, and again, 2. Smell the gas from the lawnmowers. Takes me back to childhood. I mowed a lot of lawns to get my first Les Paul. 233 4 F. Okay. All right, let's go on to 37. We're going to go, I think we're going to do 37 to the end. All right, so we have E, E. So let me play it at tempo just so you can hear it. 37 to the end. Oops, no. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I was doing it at tempo. Because it's going to be a little crazy. We're going to have, so when we have those dotted, the tied quarter notes, you're going to have to give those 4 beats if we're going to go double time. Okay? Or kind of double the value of the music. Oh, CEN. That's what it was, yeah. The cutout, yeah. You are right though. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see. There might be a way I can boost it here too. It's weird because normally if I were to turn that up, I had it set down pretty low because let's see, sound. Input volume. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Yeah. Oh, see, there we go. Now it's too loud. Okay. So somehow the input level for the microphone got turned down. I didn't do that, but Macs, computers are funny that way. Sorry about that. I should have noticed that. Yep. All right. All right. So let's. I'm going to play this. I'm going to try to do double value of every note here. See if I can keep track, because I might lose track of where the heck I am on this with all these ties. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 37, 1, 2, 3, double value. E. 4. Two, 3, 4, 2. Yeah, you hear a lawnmower now. Yeah. Yeah, I can't do much about that. Wednesdays. It's funny because I probably should do this on a different day when the gardeners aren't here. But that's how. Oh, see, it's getting too hot. Okay, so now turn this back down. Okay, so let's see. Turn off that metronome. Yeah, so 37. You know, when you're practicing that, you can just count it really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. All right. So we basically got to the end of the chart, and like I said, next week we'll do dyads. We'll start reading 2 notes at once, and that's a great way to start reading chords because it can freak you out if I were to give you 6 string, you know, wrote out an E chord on the staff. You'd be like, "What?" It's pretty intimidating at first. Let's see. I'll give you an example. In fact, I had to write some music out because I was doing. But like an open E chord, E major, would look like this. Okay, the first time you see that, you're like, wait, what? And then you go, and then they, if they're cool, they write E over it, and you're like, oh, okay. You know, you see that, and you're like, oh, well, okay, that's not so bad. So. But, you know, on the E chord, you know, when you play the E chord, right? The top 2 notes are B and E, right? We have them here. We have the B note there at the open first or second string, and the open first string is E. And you know, you already can read 2/6 or 1/3 of an E chord. So some of that stuff won't, be too surprising when you get to it. But and the other thing is, if you start to look at some music now that you can read a little bit, you might start to go, oh, I know that note and I know that note. Okay, cool. Like okay, I could read 1/10 of this chart or whatever. That kind of stuff, is cool when that starts to happen. Okay, now that the lawnmowers are done, now come the blowers. Let's see. So yeah, guys talking about nylons and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, this Gibson here, I mean, it's a great sounding Gibson. Like I said, I got really lucky. It was the first acoustic I ever had. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was 30 years old when I got it, so it wasn't like I knew what I was doing. Sorry, I want to check something real quick. Did I? Yeah. I really didn't know acoustic guitars at all. I was an electric guitar player and I played some classical guitar, but steel string acoustic, I really never owned one. I mean, I had a K12 string that was awful, and it spent some of its life with only 6 strings on it, so I could have 86 string. But I didn't bring that with me to California. I brought my classical. I think, what did I bring to California? I had like 3 guitars, I mean, I had a classical guitar. I had my 175. Oh, I had my 335, my 175, and I think I had my G&L, a G&L, not this one. I think that's all I came to California with, which is crazy because the people I was hoping to compete with, they had thousands of guitars. I'm like, yeah, no one's going to call me for anything. So, yeah, my 814 is great. Right now, I have non-elixir strings on it because I was experimenting with the guitar bow thing. This thing that is a bow for the guitar. I'll have to show that to you at some point. I haven't done a review of it. I'm kind of still messing with it a little bit. I've been using. Yeah, you can see I have my 1940s Hawaiian lap. I'm not triple neck there. Isn't that crazy? Somebody tried to do. I think it was originally brown. or maybe perloid, and then somebody tried to do a sunburst paint job to it. It's awful, just awful. But it's cool, you know. I got the Roy Schmeck, slide that goes with it, so that weighs a ton. It's like do my exercises. And I took my diatonic. But I'm using that for a game, just for a couple things. Actually, I used it on a TV show. On a TV show theme that I worked on this week, which I hope goes union. It'd be nice if it were union because the residuals on a TV show theme would be great. Because if the show keeps airing, I can't say what show it is yet. Hey, Peroni, good to see you. Long time. Yeah. I hate the blower things. Oh, you know what? If I shut that door. Much better. And shut these. That'll help. All right, so let's see. What else is going on? The Cordoba Fusion 5. Is that... Yeah, I don't get acoustic guitar magazine. Right. Yeah, Cordoba classical. I mean, my classical's okay. It's not great. I think I paid $500 for it, but it was used. And it was Asturias. And Alex just got one, similar Asturias model for about the same price. And it's totally fine. But so how many do we have right now live? 31. Okay. 33 likes. Thanks, guys. I'm not sure what the playbacks means. The views, 234. So I got 847 of that first one. So again, if you're coming late to this learning how to read music for guitar series, just go back 2 lessons to lesson 204. Looking at myself, and that will get you started on. We'll start on the E string, then move to the B string. Now we're doing the E and the B string together. Solo note, single note, but next week I'm going to do E and B string together, but we're going to start doing 2 notes at once. So you're going to start to read 2 notes, and you're going to try to look at those. But I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So I'll try hard to keep it simple. I might throw some rests in there so we can practice our rests again. And maybe dotted notes. Maybe I'll do some dotted half notes. That might be something. That's something super easy. Alex. Well, Alex and I are talking about going out of town and going on a guitar hunt. But right now, I think he just paid his taxes. So the money he was going to use for the Dreadnought had to go to pay his taxes. He paid a lot. I was helping him with his taxes, and he paid a lot. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I deserve to pay this much. He hadn't been paying quarterlies. I always pay quarterly, so he had to pay a little penalty. It wasn't that much, but and he may get a bill. I'm not sure. There's a penalty fee, and then there's penalty interest, and he may owe penalty interest. So I'm not sure how much that will be, but I've had to pay both. Yeah, we have to get to dotted notes at some point. Dotted quarters, we're not, but dotted half notes are easy because they're just worth 3/4 notes. But as soon as we get to dotted quarter notes, we're talking about 1/8 notes. I'm not going to talk about dotted quarters until we get to, uh-oh. Now I'm losing, I lost, what happened? No internet. Oh, we're back. It's back to green. Did you? Oh yeah, you had a buff there for a second, didn't you? So weird. Um, but yeah, when you're self-employed, you have to pay both sides of self-employment. Social Security. So your taxes are pretty high when you're self-employed, but you have more write-offs. Yeah, that's so weird because I've got registered. It says 33 likes. 57 likes on that first one. Again, so if you want to start the series, go back 2 lessons. It's called Music Reading Basics for Beginners or for Guitarists. What is it? Beginners. So, yeah, I put the word beginners in there. I need to create a bunch of hashtag tags on this. I'm not really... I'm also not putting this in any folder, but it just takes work, and it's not really worth my time to go through and add all those tags, although I could probably create a series of tags and just copy them and paste them, so that'll work. So I may do that today at some point. Let's see what else. So yeah, no longer buffering doesn't look like. Did I run the speed test or did I close that window? Yeah, no, we're fine. Weird. Yeah, it was download for the download speed was fine, but upload's fine now too. It's just weird. Interesting. So you guys are clicking on the like button a bunch of times to get it going. All right, any other questions? You guys enjoying this? Are you learning how to read music? I mean, it's kind of cool. That's the other thing too, is when you learn how to read music, like I said, every other musician, every other instrumentalist learns to read music. Piano, flute, bass players even, violin, trumpet, sax, all, so to play with other musicians, you can have this is this is the language for that. And so you can speak the language. Ice your foot. Oh, Bob, that's right, Bob. Keep your foot above your head. Hopefully you'll be walking on it soon without any assistance at all. Yeah, totally weird, huh? Hitting the double like button. So, oh, good. You're learning lots. Okay, good, Hook. I'm glad. And again, I'm not making them baby songs or anything like that. So these are just pure kind of exercises designed to work your knowledge, work your brain, and try to understand these notes and memorize them. Okay, I just created these things. And again, you know me, I'd rather than scan something and post it there, I could do that. We could work our way through a book that way, I suppose. I don't know if it would be considered legal or not, copyright infringement. But you know me, I'd much rather create content than use content. So also, I've got a jam track I'm waiting to post. It's Bluegrass Jam in A. Let me see what the status is on it. I didn't even make it public because I will get a lot of views at first, and I don't want to I don't want there to be ads during it. So I can't advertise yet because it says I have to share the royalties, which is ridiculous because it's a basic jam track. Dispute under review. Dispute expires in 17 days. So if they don't answer the dispute, there's no melody in here. It says video uses this song's melody, and the thing is, it's Le instrumental, whatever. That's not the first time this song has come up on my Bluegrass Jam track. And maybe it's the bass line that's triggering it, but even this one, when I did it, I made the bass line a lot more random. And I made the, let's see, hold on a second. I made the bass line a lot more random. And I also randomized the drums, and I added mandolin halfway through. So you got two guitars. You got the Gibson on one side, the Martin on the other side, mandolin in the middle, and bass and drums kind of where they're at, and I thought it would upload and not trigger the copyright claims, and of course it did. So I have to wait 30 days before I can post it. I should probably do another one. So I should probably do one in B flat or something, because I imagine how many bluegrass how many bluegrass tracks in B flat are there? I did D, and that one hasn't gotten as many views. Let me pull up the views real quick. Let's see, search bluegrass. Okay, show all. No. Bluegrass. Show all. Wait, no. What are you doing? "44 videos," because we did a series on bluegrass. So let's see. Views. Yeah, so the Bluegrass Jam at 100 beats per minute has 155,000 views, almost 156. And then the 120, which I think was the one I did originally, has 42,000 views. But I did one in D, and it only has 855 views. Isn't that weird? So I'm not sure. Let's see. What were the... If I go down to here and look at the tags that I... Copy all. Oh wait, I should go to the one that the Bluegrass Jam track that has the most views. Let me go to that and see what I put as the tags, because maybe there's some magic tag that I put in that did well. No. So let me go back to the list here. And the one that's not getting many spins, but how many people want to jam in D? I don't know. But this one I gave more value. So oh, it's not in the jam track playlist. Well, that's a drag. That may be part of the problem. Let's see if it's got any. Yeah, no, it's got. Okay, so just save this. Yeah. What's the fundraiser thing? Add a fundraiser. Join a fundraiser. Explore existing fundraisers. Oh. Stand with Israel. Interesting. Mental health. Huh. Okay, so, hey, Mamba, what's going on? Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I actually added this to a playlist, so now it's in the jam track playlist. So what I did with this, it's cool. What I did with this, and it may be my template for future jam tracks. I not only I was in A. So one guitar I played in A, E. A, D, A, E, the progression. 1, 4, 1, 5. And then the other guitar I capoed. So I did two, there's one card that runs for 2 choruses that shows what the left guitar is doing. And then a card that shows what the right guitar is doing. And so I capoed 2nd fret and used G shapes. So G, C, G, D. And then I had cards that said, oh, you try these scales. Okay, next, those would run for 4 choruses or 2 choruses, and then this, and so on and so forth. So as you watch the video, you're getting more information as you go. And I figured that's kind of cool because it might have more retention. I will not put ads in the middle. So it's 11 minutes of video with no ads except at the beginning. And no one's going to watch all the way in unless they just let it run, and then it'll go to the ad. I just hate to do an ad in the middle. The whole point is for you to be able to keep going and kind of because you get in that zone when you're solo and you're like working something out. You don't want to stop in the middle of that and go, oh, dang it. I would probably not watch that video if there was an ad in it. You know, I wouldn't do that jam track. So wine beckoning. Thanks, Tom. You're welcome. David Sillers, good to see you. Let's see, who else is... oh, B flat. Yeah, clarinet. Yep. So you know how to read a little bit from those days. A lot of people on this played clarinet. Paul played. God, he had to go. Paul Myers had to. He played flute and piano, so he could read when we were kids in junior high. In fact, he sent me. Well, I posted, I think, on my handwritten chart for the flute part to "Stairway to Heaven." I did for him because that was one of our songs. I think we had one original. We did Pinball Wizard and Stairway to Heaven. I think those were the only 3 songs we did. John says, I'm responsible for his wife killing me. I was out of town last week by myself and bought a PRS SE custom electric guitar. Very, very playable instrument. Yeah, a lot lighter than my Les Paul. Oh, yeah, those are nice. I have a Paul Reed Smith. I never play. In fact, right now where is it? Oh, it's in the case. I've got it tuned to, I've got baritone strings on it. I got tuned to low open C. Yeah, sorry about that, John. Yeah, Alex had an SE. I don't think he has that anymore, though. I'm not sure what he did with it. But yeah, those aren't ridiculously priced guitars, though. Actually, I'm probably going to order another oud today. So I'm going to have 2 ouds. I have, how many ukuleles do I have? I have a banjo ukulele. I have my fretless ukulele. I got this Martin ukulele, and then I've got 3 other ukuleles, like a baritone, a guitar lele, and a tenor. So I've got 6 ukuleles. I have 5 basses. Never thought I'd own 1 bass, let alone 5. Let's see, what's the other? Banjos. So I have a banjo lele. So that's a ukulele and a banjo, so it counts in both categories. I have a tenor banjo, which I just used. It sounded great on this TV show soundtrack I did. I played rhythm and double the melody. I don't know if the composer will use it, but it was really fun. Sounded really, really fun. I have a guitar banjo, which is just a 6-string banjo tuned like a guitar, so for fast reading single note stuff. And then I have a 5-string banjo. So yeah, I've got 4 banjos. I thought about getting like a bass banjo for some weird starting tracks. So anyway. Yeah, see, a lot of you play clarinet. Yeah, 729 is not bad at all. Did you get a case too? Or did you get a soft gig bag? It's a pretty guitar too. The Paul Reed Smith, they do really good workmanship. The wood's beautiful and everything. Hey, Josh Flagg. Yeah, Josh, we did this today. So we did the E string 2 weeks ago. We did the B string last week, and this week I combined. So if you go to the Discord, you can download the worksheet. I uploaded it yesterday morning, so everyone would have about 24 hours to kind of get a glance at it. I'll try to do that for next week's lesson. It's just a matter of whether I remember, but I'm gonna keep it fairly simple. It might end up being 2 pages, or I might end up having six bars per line, because I'm gonna mostly have half notes and whole notes. I don't want you thinking you have to read chord changes. You know, be like, you know, we don't need to be doing that. So you won't be doing that. Oh, I like this. I wonder what the cause of this is. Look at that, 51% humidity here. I don't have to run my humidifiers. Normally we're around 30%. So I'm liking that. Soft gig bag. Okay, that'll work. Cherry sunburst is beautiful. Cherry is one of the best sunbursts you can have. I like tobacco sunburst too, but cherry is classic 59 Les Paul vibes. So anyway, so this is the worksheet today, Josh. Let's see. I'm going to go back to this so that I can get rid of all that stuff. You see the triple neck here too. I got that out for some film game scores stuff. You can tell I'm busy when I got, this is like 1 week's worth of charts. It's like, oh, maybe this is 2 weeks now. This is 2 weeks. Because this is some of the stuff I did like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so, you know, and here's, again, if you're going to do what I do, you're going to be needing to read a lot. See, that's a lot of reading right there. And so, I don't remember what that's for. And you got this kind of stuff, which is hilarious because, like, look at those 16th notes. Usually, what I do is I extend the length of those, so I don't. If those were 8th notes, they wouldn't take up so many pages of music. And sometimes I just get handwritten things like this, like do this for this. Yeah, so this was something I did on acoustic guitar. It was actually a really cool melody. This was, yeah, this, I really enjoyed playing this. It was, this composer writes really good melodies, really interesting melodies. See, I played this with a capo, I think. It's funny because the short-term memory stuff, oh yeah, it definitely did. What was it? Oh no. No. Oh, this one, no, I didn't have a capo on for this. But there were some of the melodies in this piece, in this score that were just really cool. But it's finger twisting kind of stuff. Some of it was kind of crazy. So let's see what's going on. Let's see, Alan Floyd. Do you think you will do any banjo videos? I can't foresee that. How do we stop strings legato picking through scales? Basically, your right hand is going to do a lot of that work. If there's a couple ways. To be honest, I see a lot of heavy metal guitar players. They use things like this to, to deaden the strings. I used to put a wrist, the sweatbands. I used to put that on my guitar, but now there's not going to be any. Logic. I got to open Logic. But that's one way. The other way is to kind of deaden with your right hand here, and also with your left hand. I mean, your left hand and your right hand. What am I doing? Your right hand and your left hand. Just gonna hold on a second. You might hear a pop. While it loads. Mandotar. Oh, when will we hear your Mandotar? Oh yeah. I mean, you saw the video. I have it in the other room. It's out of the case because I was just using it on a couple things. Plus the video. And then, whatchamacallit, Goldtone asked if they could post it. I said 100%. I don't know where they post it because they haven't posted anything in a year on their Twitter. Sorry, it's taking a second for it to load everything. But yeah, so you can get one of these, and then you can do, when you're not using it, you can just